Howdy everybody, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Ice House. We try to keep things cool, calm, collected, and mostly a bit chill. Well, I've been pondering again, and maybe it's because, when Elon Musk said that we're the new media to replace the legacy media, right? And all these people talking about chasing the algorithm and trying to be trendsetters, and I know we've had, people trying to be trending and trendsetters on Instagram and whatnot for decades now, but everybody now, because it's a new chance and a new life, right? It kind of feels like King of the Hill, and and the parasocial networks and the parasocial media is getting all excited because we're going to replace the old guard and we're going to be the new guard. Maybe we'll do it the exact same way, but some people are trying to chase the algorithm or tell you they got the algorithm all figured out and that's why they got so many subs and they got it in the bag, or people are telling you how to grow your engagement, and well, yeah, you pay them a few bucks here and there, or maybe it's the fact that I recently fixed the washing machine that's about 20 years old, and I'm an old curmudgeon, and I like things that work, and if it wasn't broke too bad, fix it, and so you don't have to buy something new that will probably break in 2 to 3 years because they don't make anything like they used to. Maybe it's that, or a little bit of column A or column B. But in light of all of that, today I wanted to talk to you guys about agitating the algorithm. That's right, because let's face it, when it comes to trying to keep up with the Joneses or trying to figure out how to stay relevant, there's been a lot of talk of, the algorithm is basically the thing that decides, well, with all the AI tools now, I don't know how much it decides, or it just recognizes patterns. It says, hey, this is a pattern, this is showing up a lot, so we're gonna promote it because it's getting pushed, and because people are pushing it, we'll promote it, and therefore it becomes a perpetual energy machine, which, let me tell you, the washing machines are not, right? They definitely take electricity, and they definitely take maintenance, and they are not self-sustaining, but I digress, right? And the other thing is, about a washing machine is, in the same way that we talk about how the legacy media, and when Ron Burgundy changed the news and we started getting 24-hour news, news cycles, if you will, like a wash cycle, things will show up and they'll drop off after a little while, right? They kind of they become a big thing where everybody's going to cover it. And then once people decide that we've got enough answers, or maybe something bigger showed up, even when it's kind of a major event, right? And a day or two, something else will show up that kind of will take the news media and take all the headlines, and maybe you'll see a few subtitles here and there, and it'll just kind of fall off, right? For example, how Sydney Sweeney had great jeans. I think she still does. And then people had, all the reactions. And then a week later, people who were upset about Sydney Sweeney and jeans and hadn't paid attention to our Baskin Robbins ads, somebody brought that up out of the woodworks from a month before, and then everybody was upset about that because it was Sydney Sweeney, and because they were retroactively mad about one thing, they could decide that the outrage is terrible, right? But then all of a sudden, the WNBA was also having issues. They might still be, right? And now they put nets up on the courts to protect the players and all that. And so now, are people still talking about Sydney Sweeney, or is she out of the cycle? And then, because like in a washing machine, you have the delicates, which would be, I would put that as kind of the new stuff that people have to address, kind of, but if they say too much or do too much investigating, it makes them or their side or what they hold to be valuable, puts that in a bad light. So they're gonna put on the kitty gloves and try to dance around stuff so they don't say anything, too negative. But then there's the permanent press cycle, right? Which is, for how many years now that people don't like the president, and people want to say that they don't like the president, and people want to talk about how people don't like the president, and yeah. And then we hear about it all the time, and then it gets political, and then different entertainment companies get involved, and, and then it becomes this whole thing, and so that sort of information always shows up, right? And sometimes it's the next bulletin point in a continuous saga that, it never drops out of the cycle because something new and, something happens here, but it'll be connected to something happened that 6 months ago or whatever, that all of that just flares up again. Some sort of chronic, echinacea. Wait, that's not the word. Eczema or something like that, or eczema, however you want to talk about it, that you can try to contain, but never fully goes away. And it's another reason to wash your clothes and your sheets often, because those kind of things are, it's good to have clean clothes when it's hot and sweaty and gross out, to help skin feel better. But I digress. Point is, once again, with the washing machine, there's just this whole idea that now that we have control of the internet and the algorithm and the news cycle and the trending, that, the whole thing of agitating the algorithm, instead of just, talking about the things that are happening and talking about the things that are important to us, or, there's a lot of us that'll, have our niche or niche, however you want to pronounce it. We have our own little subreddits, and we have our own little, places we hang out, or Discord groups where we talk with people we know and we like and we enjoy, and we share opinions without getting blasted by people that just show up and disagree with us just because they saw something in the internet and had to tell you you're wrong, right? Just kind of fun places to hang out. But, when it comes to trying to be the trend setter, and like I said, I know we've had people trying to be trendsetters for decades on Instagram and YouTube, and trying to calculate or guess what's going to be the big thing, and then be one of the first people to talk about it and review it, so they get all the hits and they start building a following, and then people perceive them as the people knowing what's up, and then at some point they could just talk about something, and because they talked about it, everybody's talking about it, and then bam, right? They're agitating the algorithm because they decided, because of people and their own popularity, their following, right? And that kind of tracks with the whole thing of talking about, even in Hollywood and all this, finding people who may not be the best actor, may not be the best person suited for the role, but they have a huge following, so all the people who will talk about it and retweet it or repost it or share it, right? It'll get the buzz stirring on the parasocial networks, so it's getting all the trending, which means somebody will talk about it, which means they're again agitating the algorithm. Now the truth is, that doesn't necessarily mean that people were gonna actually listen or pay attention or go see the movie or interested, and they're gonna talk about it, right? So that's the thing when it comes to this whole king of the hill and we're the new media and out with the old guard and in with the new guard. It's not gonna work out like the low guy on the totem pole is all of a sudden gonna be seen as the greatest, because I think it's more of when you get a shake-up, you get people who have been doing something well that maybe not have been noticed, but because it's a new platform and a new media that people haven't been paying attention to, they'll find it, right? And they'll see stuff, and maybe they'll seek out new creative ways, or kind of check out what's going on with this streaming world if they just were used to watching the 6 o'clock news, right? But at the same time, there's also the fact that you have all these big media sources that still exist, and the legacy media that, well, they see the change of the times, so they're trying to switch the medium and trying to connect too. So, is it really going to be that the social media trending star killed the nightly news legacy media star? I mean, it kind of remains to be seen. And like I said, I think this is going to give some people a chance to get noticed when you're not just staring at your TV for the 6 o'clock news and choosing between several channels of your favorite, right? Or trying to choose from 120 channels or 300 channels on your cable. Now you have like thousands of YouTube channels that you can look at. I mean, that's just YouTube because you got Stream or Twitch and Kick and all the other platforms, and somebody might be streaming on all of them at the same time, and you can watch all the streams on your different devices if you want to. I mean, you could. I don't know why would you want to, but you could. And so now we have that many more options if people want to switch over to this new media platform, And so, like I said, all that to say is it kind of makes this whole idea of agitating the algorithm and trying to be noticed and trying to be seen when everybody's doing it. I mean, we'll see how that plays out. I mean, I would love for a puppet like me to get more people noticed and people looking on YouTube for positive, thoughtful penguins or just puppets in general, right? That'd be cool. I mean, if you have any friends that like penguins or puppets and stuff, and you think they like the content, I'd love for you to share it with them, right? That'd be cool. But I'm not expecting to just blow up overnight either, right? Unless I had Mexican food. Bad joke. Bad smell. Okay, moving on. Point is, like I said, I'm excited for kind of what we can create and what we can do, and maybe people will notice, but at the same point, it kind of feels like you put in a lot of effort, but it's going to be a lot of the same thing, like everything, with the ebb and flow of seasons change and things kind of have their ups and downs, but things kind of settle out. So it remains to be seen how all this pans out, but at the same time, I'm still here to have fun and hang out and ponder and have conversations with you guys. So like I'm doing good. I'm having fun. So yeah. I mean, the thing is the especially with the washing machine agitators, I had to replace the agitator dogs, which are a really cheap part, but they're kind of very important because they're when those little teeth wear out and it tries to shake things around. I mean, if those are worn down, you get nothing. So it doesn't, like I say, take much to spin the wheel, but if everybody's trying to spin the wheel at the same time, we'll see how that plays out. But for now, I'm gonna keep pondering and having fun. So that's all I got for today. So I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments below. And like, share, subscribe if you want to. And yeah. Like I like to say, I mean, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and share the fun things in life, because that's what makes it worthwhile. Till next time, we'll see you later. Bye.